On August 23, 1954, the C-130 Hercules took to the skies for the first time. Since then, the airframe, originally designed as a transport, has filled diverse roles, including drone control, psychological warfare, airborne early warning, maritime patrol, electronic warfare, and search and rescue, among others. One variant stands out above the rest, the AC-130. Widely regarded as the most iconic gunship, its prominence in films, games, and combat footage has arguably made it more popular among military aviation enthusiasts than the original C-130. Operational for nearly 60 years, the AC-130 remains a vital asset with no sign of being made redundant anytime soon. A remarkable testimony to the design and flexibility of this workhorse. Our videos are researched, written and produced by a small team of filmmakers dedicated to bringing you accurate military aviation history from around the world. Please consider supporting us by joining our merch and members site for early access, bonus content and merch discounts, or become a YouTube channel member for early access, or simply hit subscribe. Your support means everything. Thanks again, and please enjoy the video. In the mid-1960s, the idea of producing new gunship platforms was gaining traction and feasibility. The driving force here was combat experience with similar designs being used during the Vietnam War. As the name suggests, the gunship concept was derived from naval vessels with lateral guns designed to fire on targets as the ship passed by. Modifying aircraft with laterally mounted weapons was a novel concept. Unlike traditional strafing or bombing runs that required flying directly at targets, a gunship could loiter as long as fuel allowed, orbiting overhead with its guns trained on a designated area. Though this made the aircraft more vulnerable, the ability to maintain continuous fire and observation on a target offered a decisive advantage. The gunship concept took root during the Second World War. By the mid-1940s, rudimentary gunships emerged, aircraft equipped with increasing numbers of forward-facing heavy guns for strafing ground or naval targets. Earlier, bomber destroyers, also armed with large cannons, had focused solely on air-to-air combat, typically using heavy fighters. This shifted as attention turned to heavily armed air-to-ground attack aircraft. De Havilland modified Mosquitoes for these roles. The FB Mark VI, armed with 4 .303 Browning machine guns and 4 Hispano Mark II 20mm cannons, delivered intense firepower against specific targets, such as houses and armored vehicles. The FB Mark 18, developed for anti-ship missions, added a single 57mm 6-pounder auto-loading cannon to this arsenal. The Germans followed suit, notably equipping Ju-87 Stukas with BK 3.7 37mm cannon pods for anti-tank roles and the lesser-known Ju-88P with various cannons, up to a single auto-loading 75mm PaK-40. Later in the Second World War, the Americans advanced these efforts in the Pacific. Mitchell bombers gained enhanced firepower for strafing, with some models mounting unguided rockets, a 75mm M4 cannon, and in the B-25J's case, 1850 caliber M2 Browning machine guns, 14 forward-facing for strafing missions. While integrating more components into the aircraft increased the chance of mechanical issues, these aircraft succeeded due to their sheer increase in firepower. It was around this time that certain American designers began proposing new gunship designs. Rather than strafing directly, heavier platforms with lateral weapon configurations could carry greater armament. From late 1942, experimental efforts emerged, including A-20 Havoc and B-25 conversions, alongside the Boeing YB-40 Flying Fortress. Although the YB-40 was a modified B-17 to serve as a heavily armed escort for other bombers, its armed-to-the-teeth configuration no doubt provided inspiration for future gunship designs. By the early 1960s, gunship designs remained promising, despite limited progress. Experiments continued, yet no production aircraft had emerged. Project Tailchaser had converted a Convair C-131 into a rudimentary gunship, armed with a single laterally mounted GAU-2 minigun, but the project garnered little interest. That changed when Captain Ron Terry took charge. Returning from Vietnam during the early stages of the conflict, Terry noted the effectiveness of utility aircraft like the C-47 or C-123 in providing illumination during night raids. This was simply achieved through repetitive orbiting until the mission was complete or fuel ran low. Using the modified C-131 for further testing, the team working with Terry found that rudimentary grease pencil markings on the cockpit were enough to effectively lay down heavy suppressive fire onto positions, and this was with just one minigun. On December 4th, 1964, Terry and his team returned to Vietnam, where they would modify two C-47Ds into a gunship configuration. Within 10 days, both aircraft were ready for action. Nicknamed FC-47, these aircraft were handed off to the 1st Air Commando Squadron for field testing, equipped with 3 side-mounted 7.62mm miniguns, mounted in improvised gun pods fixed inside window openings. The FC-47 excelled in night missions from December to February. Despite the makeshift nature of the design, the FC-47 completed 16 initial combat sorties, all successful, followed by an incredible show of force on the night of February 8, 1965, during which an estimated 20,000 rounds of ammunition were expended over a 4-hour period, resulting in the near-complete destruction of a Viet Cong outpost used to stage attacks on US troops. By July 1965, the aircraft earned the nickname Spooky and Puff and the AC-47 designation. By year's end, 20 operated with refined modifications, growing to 41 in Vietnam, using MXU-470A minigun modules, though earlier variants used the SUU-11A pods. Until 1968, the AC-47 design proved to be the one and only fixed-wing gunship in regular service, fulfilling an essential role in support of ground units. During the Battle of Khe Sanh, for example, Spookies would deliver critical nighttime fire support. During 1967, the successes of the Spooky were noted by designers in the US. The fixed-wing gunship offered unique capabilities unmatched by other platforms at the time. The AC-47 was easy to modify, relatively inexpensive, and in the field was capable of quick response times to air support requests, could loiter on station for hours on end, and was surprisingly accurate given its unique method of fire delivery. This would lead directly to Project Gunship II, aimed at surpassing the AC-47. The goal was simple: adapt a utility aircraft with heavy armament, integrating advanced technology and versatile weaponry for diverse missions. In mid-1967, the C-130 Hercules would be selected as the basis for this new project. Modified at Eglin Air Force Base, the prototype for the new gunship would include a variety of systems considered cutting-edge for their time. An early forward-looking infrared system would be installed, as well as night vision devices and a new analog fire control system. On the left side of the aircraft were a variety of miniguns. Arriving in Vietnam on September 21, 1967, this first aircraft underwent a 3-month test deployment, during which time it was refined. By 1968, the new design was ready for official deployment, and several other airframes were also modified. Redesignated AC-130A, these aircraft reached Tan Son Nhut Air Base in June 1968, supporting operations during the Tet Offensive. The Alpha model carried laterally mounted armament, with 20mm M61 cannons standard and 40mm Bofors added to some airframes by 1969. In Vietnam, the AC-130A, referred to as the Spectre, quickly earned a reputation for precision. Due to its slow speed and large size, Spectres would usually be sent with F-4 Phantom escorts. Early Spectres, equipped with diverse weaponry, provided close air support, engaging targets mere hundreds of feet from friendly forces, thanks to a highly accurate analog fire control system. Then in 1969, the aircraft would become even more capable with what was known as the Surprise Package Upgrade, which modified several airframes to a new standard. These were still designated Alpha models, but everything had changed. They would feature a new refined forward-looking infrared system and TV recording, an early digital fire control computer, a new INS, and most notably, a new laser-illuminated TV system for weapons employment, complete with laser designator. These enhancements defined the Spectre's enduring legacy. By 1970, most AC-130As had been brought up to Surprise Package standard and were seeing great success. Like the Spooky, these aircraft excelled in night operations, taking it to the next level with the addition of new low-light TV systems. Able to pinpoint mechanized and motorized units with ease at night, the Spectre would make quick work of any detected enemies with bursts of 20 or 40mm fire. Some Alpha models incorporated the AN/ASD-5 magnetic anomaly detector, originally designed for submarine hunting. AC-130 crews adapted it to detect vehicles and transmitters by homing in on unshielded engine ignition signals. locating Viet Cong assets even in dense jungles. Then in 1971, the Echo model would emerge. The AC-130E PAVE Spectre was powered by the Allison T56A15 turboprop engines taken from the Echo model C-130 transport. This new gunship was stronger, more advanced, and closer to what we today understand to be the AC-130 gunship. It would field similar weapons to the Alpha Surprise package models, with some E-models testing a 105mm howitzer in 1971. By mid-1972, select Echo models were upgraded to hotel standard under the PAVE Spectre II program. These aircraft would standardize the 105mm M102 and T56A15 engines, while upgrading the avionics, sport a redesigned outer wing, new radar, and more advanced night vision systems. By 1973, these gunships had reportedly destroyed approximately 10,000 trucks during the conflict. The aircraft would return to the region once more in April 1975. During the first 2 weeks, the aircraft flew overwatch missions during the emergency withdrawal from Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge takeover. The 2 weeks following this would see the aircraft pull east to provide similar overwatch during the evacuation from Saigon. Throughout the 70s and 80s, AC-130 upgrades would continue, adding new guns, internal system computers, camera systems, and so on. The US Air Force operated Alpha, Echo, and Hotel variants concurrently, deploying them for critical missions, including planned support for the 1980 Tehran hostage crisis operations in Iran. During the 1980s, 2 other important events would see the AC-130 put to use. The first was the invasion of Grenada in 1983, during which time an AC-130 crew was sent in to provide suppression of enemy forces and conduct suppression of enemy air defenses, enabling rapid Allied control of the island. Then, between 1983 to 1989, AC-130H crews of the 16th Special Operations Squadron were tasked with tracking and monitoring the activity of the Communist Farabundo Multinational Liberation Front, or FMLN, during the Salvadoran Civil War in order to support the right-wing military junta. Rules of engagement were loosened as the war dragged on, and eventually, AC-130 crews were given the green light to engage FMLN targets, as well as other guerrilla outposts in the region. The AC-130 played a crucial role in hastening the FMLN's defeat. In 1989, during the US invasion of Panama, AC-130 crews identified and destroyed crucial government infrastructure, including control posts and military headquarters. They then provided close air support for troops as they secured important objectives. The Spectre's most notable engagements would occur in 1991. As part of Operation Desert Shield, AC-130 Alpha and Hotel models, in complementary tasking, were deployed to the Middle East. Once Desert Storm began, these crews received a variety of tasks. Commonly, they would provide overwatch for coalition forces as they traveled or captured particular objectives. Operating at 10,000 to 12,000 feet, their low altitude limited most missions to nighttime, reducing exposure to enemy threats. In one rare example, a Hotel model gunship, Spirit 03, had been providing close air support to a group of Marines during the Battle of Khafji. As dawn broke, the gunship crew requested to stay in the fight and continue to protect the Marines. However, with the aircraft now exposed by the rising sun, it was shot down by an SA-7 missile. Just as in Vietnam, the AC-130's role in Desert Storm also included identifying and destroying armored columns. When intelligence had confirmed enemy armor approaching coalition forces, AC-130s would be dispatched to cut off these advancing enemy forces, essentially shielding Allied forces from oncoming armor. It was this role that earned the AC-130 a fearsome reputation during the conflict, having taken part in a number of large-scale attacks on enemy columns. The most infamous was the operation staged along Highway 80, dubbed the Highway of Death. According to contemporary online recollections of the events, AC-130s did not bring the bulk of the firepower to the fight. Rather, it was primarily from A-6 intruders and A-10s, supported by further strikes from F-15Es and F-16s. What the AC-130s brought to the operation was nighttime precision hitting of moving armor along the highway. These Middle East operations would make the AC-130 legendary, particularly Spirit 03 and an Alpha model nicknamed Azrael, not only due to the loss of Spirit 03, but because of their remarkable troop support during night operations. Following the Gulf War, a new upgrade was sought. This upgrade would be used to supplement the hotel model, while replacing the old Alpha model in its support role. The solution would be the AC-130U Spooky, named in honor of the original AC-47 gunship. Practically every internal system would be upgraded in some way for this new model. The two 20mm cannons of the H model would be exchanged for a single, more accurate 25mm cannon, while retaining the 40mm Bofors and 105mm M102. Most importantly, the U model would feature a far more advanced targeting and TV system. The three main guns could be set up in a dual-target attack mode, allowing for two operators to focus the selected guns at two targets at once, providing individual tracking to each. Coupled with a new fire control system, new Hughes APQ-180 radar, improved infrared and all-light television, the new Spooky was by far the best in the AC-130 lineup and would excel in all-weather operations, especially at night. Deliveries began in 1996, bolstering hotel model Spectres and phasing out Vietnam-era Alphas. Over the next few years, the Iraq War and war in Afghanistan would change the way coalition forces approached combat. While the AC-130 had proven itself in Vietnam and Desert Storm, it faced tougher challenges against insurgents, demanding extreme precision in close air support near friendly forces. Counterinsurgency missions in urban areas heightened the risk of civilian casualties. Hence, the focus would be on achieving pinpoint accuracy, usually at night, and the ability to loiter for as long as possible during operations. Plans were already on the table for the next major AC-130 model. However, Special Forces, through Special Operations Command, wanted an interim aircraft specifically to assist in high-intensity special operations. The United States Special Operations Command would, in 2010, procure new aircraft to be modified just for this purpose. The aircraft in question would be the MC-130W Combat Spear, a Hercules model specifically designed for use by Special Forces under the United States Special Operations Command. Modifying these airframes with similar armament to previous gunship iterations, the result would be the AC-130W, initially dubbed the Dragon Spear, and later renamed the Stinger II. Arriving in Afghanistan in late 2010, the new W model would be truly unique amongst its contemporary Hercules gunships. It would feature new 30mm Bushmaster II chain gun, as well as a precision-guided munitions system, allowing the aircraft to store AGM-176 Griffin missiles, GBU-44 Viper strikes, and even Hellfire missiles, as well as pylons for 250-pound bombs under the wings. It would use Hellfire missiles in combat for the first time 1 month after arriving in Afghanistan, neutralizing several insurgents. 14 such aircraft would serve, with 12 being converted from existing MC-130s. However, the development wouldn't end there. Given its success, the AC-130W inspired the next major AC-130 variant, the AC-130J or Ghostrider. First procured in 2014, the new model would enter service in late 2017 and be deployed with Air Force Special Operations Command to Afghanistan in 2019. By 2022, all other AC-130 variants, including the W model, had retired, leaving the Ghostrider as the sole operator. As with each successive model before it, the Ghostrider has seen significant upgrades, integrating systems from both the legacy models of the AC-130 Spectre and Spooky, as well as Special Operations Command's favored MC-130. For nearly 6 decades, the AC-130 has reigned as an indispensable asset for American defense forces. From its innovative origins as the Spectre, it has exceeded expectations, proving pivotal in conflicts from Vietnam to Afghanistan. Its designers pioneered a platform that redefined close air support, forging a gunship that is still more than capable in modern warfare and will likely remain so for a long time to come.